Someone who's striving for the bid'ah that the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba and the Tabi'een never did. And he thinks he's doing the good. The one who's striving and doing this is worse than the one who is being moderate in the Sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ. Because the best thing is to be moderate, especially when it comes to the Sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ and his teachings. Hold yourselves accountable. Judge yourselves. حاسبوا أنفسكم قبل أن تحاسبوا. He said radiallahu anhu, hold yourselves accountable before you are held accountable. Hold yourself accountable before you are being held accountable in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Yawm al-Qiyamah. For this makes the recompense easier. So you will return to Allah. As human beings or Muslims specifically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us mind to think about it. How many ayahs in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions? أَفَلَا يَتَذَكَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ وَمَا يَذَّكَّرُ إِلَّا أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Many ayahs in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, asks, aren't they mindful? Aren't they being thankful? Don't they think? Don't they be mindful and think? Many ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing us. That we are Muslims. When we make mistakes, when we know that ourselves that we made a mistake and we are being wrongful, immediately, brothers and sisters, we have to give up with the truth. And we have to be humble. And we have to act humbly. Not in front of people, but in front of Allah because He's watching. Because the truth is known. What are we running away from? If that's the truth, and we see it in front of our eyes, why are we getting away from it? Because that truth, that's what's going to lead us to Jannah. That's what's going to lead us to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When our parents tell us to do something in Allah's obedience, we do it. And they feel so happy about it. And they enjoy, they are proud of their sons and children for what they have achieved. What do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be if we achieve something in this dunya to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy and to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with us? And that's following the truth and stay away from our desires and following our hawa. Now Umar radiallahu anhu says, now hold yourselves accountable before you are held accountable, for this makes the recompense easier. Weigh yourselves before you are weighted and prepare for the day of grand gathering. وَزِنُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُوزَنُوا. Because all of us will stand up in the mizan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will weigh our hasanat and sayyi'at. So you say, weigh yourselves. Look at your actions. How is your daily life going? When you go to bed at night time and you sleep on your right side, does any one of you ask himself and say, what have I done today for the deen of Allah? What have I done today? That's what Umar is delivering, that is his point. What have we done for the deen of Allah? Weigh yourself before you are being weighted in the day of the judgment. He says, radiallahu anhu, on that day, Yawm al-Qiyamah, you shall be brought to judgment, and not a secret of yours will be hidden. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all our secrets. And He knows what I do behind that wall. And He knows what you do behind that wall. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hiding it in this dunya, He can reveal it in the akhirah. And what a shame is that for your parents and your beloved ones to see you. To see the things that you were doing in this dunya that they haven't seen. But Allah reveals it in the day of the judgment. What the Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith, that يَأْتِي السَّارِقْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, that the thief will come in the day of the judgment. Or the fornicator, or the alcoholic. He used to hide it in this dunya, and Allah will reveal it in Yawm al-Qiyamah. That his parents will look at him doing it. And his neighbors will look at him doing it. And his close friends will look at him doing it. So don't hide from anyone. And don't think you are hiding from Allah. All we can do is ask Allah's forgiveness and weigh ourselves before we are going to be weighted. And judge ourselves every night, brothers and sisters. Judge yourself. Did I hurt a brother today? Did I hurt a sister today? Did I advise someone today? Did I give da'wah today at my job? Even one ayah. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ is enough to give tabligh to a non-Muslim. Can't we do it every day? Or just a smile to your Muslim brother is enough. Or just a salam to your Muslim brother is enough. That's a sadaqah. That's the 10 good deeds. We ask Allah to guide us. We ask Allah to keep us firm in His deed. Please come forward, brothers and sisters. Please come forward. Jazakumullah khair. And he says, radiyallahu anhu, hold to this Quran. Hold to this Quran, the book of Allah. For there is light and healing. There is a light in the book of Allah. There is a healing in the book of Allah. And a misery otherwise. For the ones who don't read the book of Allah. For the ones who don't care about the book of Allah, the Quran, they are miserable. No matter how happy they look to you, inside they are miserable. Because they are not filling themselves with the nur. They are not filling themselves with the light. Which is Allah's speech. How hard, brothers and sisters, for us to read 1 page a day or memorize half page a day. Now we go by and we watch TV, hours. And we go by and go to the gym for hours. But why don't we grab Allah's book, put it in our pocket, and take it? Why, even if I'm having lunch, and read the book of Allah while you're eating? Isn't that a huge investment? If you read 1 ayah, 1 verse, or 1 letter, as the Prophet said, it's still hasanat. That is the true investment. Someone comes to us, and he tells us the stock market is going up. You can make money next month, mashallah. And you invest a couple $1,000. And the next month, you'll double that. Won't you be excited? You'll be happy. But that's in this dunya. It will be gone tomorrow. Maybe it will be gone this evening. Who knows if you are going to see me next week, or we're going to see each other next week. But the investment of the akhirah, it is always going to be there for you, brothers and sisters. And that's what Umar is saying. That hold to the book of Allah, the Quran, because it's the light. And he said, rahimahullah, radiyallahu anhu, and how humble he was. At the end of his khutbah, I have indeed fulfilled my duty with regards to what Allah has endowed me with, of your leadership, and given you sincere advice. And he made it sure that it's sincere advice. And he said it in front of thousands of Sahabas. In front of Uthman, in front of Ali, Zubayr, all these big Sahabas. And he said it with sincerity. And he said, I say this, and seek Allah's forgiveness for me and you. Brothers and sisters, I seek Allah's forgiveness for me and you. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. That's how touching was Umar's khutbah. I even try to explain it, but it's not even 10 minutes. But how many reminders and teaching he had. Because the Prophet ﷺ called him Al-Faruq. There is a reason why Rasulullah called him al-Faruq. That is spread between the haqq and the batil, between the truth and the falsehood. My second part of the khutbah, as I promised you and said, the matter and the fitan and the bala of the sorcerers. And many ignorant Muslims nowadays throughout the Muslim nations. And I heard with my own ears and how painful it was. Now how come some of the brothers and sisters go to them in this country and ask them for help and advice? How can you go to a psychic and call him a healer? How can you call a psychic and ask him to give you and tell you if I'm going to have a child next year or I'm going to be wealthy next year? That is kufr. That is disbelief and shirk. The most precious things we have, brothers and sisters, is our deen. You will die before your deen. If they give me the choice to die or choose my deen, I will choose my deen. At least I will go and stand in front of Allah with my head up. We choose our deen. Those people lost their deen. And second of all, they lost their money. You will be amazed and surprised how much money these people spend going to seek these idiots and those thieves who are stealing their money and call themselves that they are doctors or healers. They change the names. Umar radiallahu anhu, as the Prophet ﷺ called him al-Faruq, he used to tell the Sahaba, go throughout the land of the Arab, the Jazirat al-Arab, which is Arabia and Yemen now. Go throughout the land, and if you find one of them, tell him to repent to Allah or the death penalty. One of the others. Repent to Allah, return to Islam, because first of all, they are kuffar. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت. That they followed what Sulaiman was doing. This comes after the Yahudis, what they have done or what they have said about Sulaiman. That he was a sahir, astaghfirullah. That he was a sorcerer, because the jinn were working for him. But Allah said no. وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. Sulaiman is not a kafir, it's not a disbeliever. وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا. Who made kufr? The shayateen made the kufr. Why? Because they taught people the sihr. They taught people الشعوذة. They taught people sorcery and magic. And the psychic. يعلمون الناس السحر. That's what they teach them. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. At that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to test them. So He sent two angels. Babil in Iraq. One, his name is Harut wa Marut. Two angels. Allah tests these people. They were teaching the magic. However, they were warning them. وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ حَتَّى يَقُولَا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةً. They will not teach anyone the sihr until they say, we are fitna. This is a fitna, this is bala. You don't want to do this. You don't want to learn this. It's going to harm you. That was a major test from Allah. And then after that, the shayateen started to learn. And that's how it started. From the Yahud. And in Bukhari, the story was narrated by Abu Hurairah, and Ibn Umar, and Ibn Abbas. That the Prophet ﷺ, they did it to him. They threw magic in his well, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Until he couldn't even remember the Quran, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he was feeling very ill for 2 weeks. Then Jibreel alayhi salam, he came. And he told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam what it was. And they put it in one of his combs, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They hid it under the well.